around juicing. So we're going to introduce Sasha in just a moment. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your co-host of the show, and
this is Dr. Tong Li
here on Ageless Living. So Sasha, you have a juice bar and restaurant.
Yes. Well, it started as a juice bar and then it became a restaurant. So now I have a restaurant. But
it's called 24carats.com.
It is 24carats.juice.com.
Oh,
yeah.
I did get that wrong.
That's the thing. We started as a juice bar. Yeah.
Okay, and not to be confused with it's the vegetable. So it's the numeral 24 carrots, CARROTS, at juice.com. And so they actually have a full-fledged restaurant that goes along with it, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But carrots are a good sweetener, strangely enough.
Actually, they're fantastic. They're they're a natural sweetener, which is wonderful,
Absolutely.
And you get a lot of extra goodies, which you don't often get just with plain sugar.
We were just talking about don't add sugar, so adding carrots is great.
Yeah, actually, we don't add sugars to our fresh juices. So it's we'll add maybe some fresh apple juice or some carrots or even maybe a date or two. But there's so many naturally sweet things out in the world that don't really have to add anything else.
Absolutely.
That's the big difference between the juices you squeeze freshly versus the ones you buy.
Oh, most definitely. And a lot of the ones that we buy, even the ones that are a little bit better for us, have a lot of very high glycemic fruits in there, like say banana and things like that, which can be kind of difficult and challenging for certain individuals that may be diabetic or not able to necessarily manage those kinds of sugars.
That is true. Bananas do, and pineapples do give a high glycemic
certainly,
spike. Yeah. But I want to also have a small personal story that Sasha shared with me. There's a lot of discussion about when you juice, does that strip out your muscles? Can you exercise and still build muscle mass? And so Sasha had a good experience in losing weight. Could you share that with us?
I did. I mean, putting on the weight as much fun as you would think it would be, it was actually terrible. On my 5'2" frame, I was close to 150 pounds. I was 148 pounds at my heaviest, and that was predominantly due to stress and things like that. And I didn't really have too much muscle tone at that point either. So I decided to go on a juice cleanse, and I had modified it. So I did raw food, raw vegetables, so nothing cooked above or nothing warmed above 115 degrees, lots of fresh fruits and veggies, and a lot of juicing. And I ended up, I'm 112 pounds now, and that was almost 9 months ago, and I've managed to keep it off just by eating healthfully and including juicing in my diet, which was fantastic.
Do you exercise?
I did. I exercised a lot. That's the challenge.
With which strategy?
I did. My best friend is really into P90X and Insanity and all of those things. So I did that. I ran. I ran twice a day, and I dance. I dance almost 6 days a week. So even through all of that, I was able to maintain the same amount of muscle tone. Actually, I was able to increase it after some time.
That's what I was looking for.
Which was pretty amazing.
You can actually increase your muscle.
At this point, I've gained a lot more muscle than I was before, and stamina and things like that, on a very clean diet.
Did the muscle add any weight?
It shifted it. As I was losing weight, there was a period in time where I lost a lot of weight very, very quickly. And then I went through this phase where I was kind of stagnant. I guess you could say I was stagnant, but what was really happening is I was shedding fat, but I was also putting on muscle. So, I'd step on the scale maybe once every week and a half or so, and sometimes I would find myself being like, oh my God, where did those extra 5 pounds come from? Well, I was able to run for longer, and I could lift more, and I realized that it's not necessarily, the best question I think I get on a daily basis is, where do you get your protein from? And people associate that with not being able to build muscle on a vegetarian or a vegan diet or something that's predominantly juicing.
That's right.
And for us, at least for my body, I realized that it's not really the quantity of protein, it's the quality. And I was able to process much better.
Could I add something to that? It's there's a misconception on how much protein we need.
Oh, yeah.
It's, we do need some protein, no question about it. It's how much. We tend to think we need a lot of it. But if you get a lot of protein, great. The body will burn it using it just like energy source.
Mm-hmm. So in a way, it's like eating carbs when you eat too much protein.
And it can be converted to that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Definitely, definitely.
So you're right, it's not just how much protein, it's the quality too.
Most certainly. I think one of the best things that one of our customers said to me, a gorilla is pretty strong and they're vegetarian. I was
I
like,
do
yeah,
hear that a lot,
definitely,
actually.
right?
I want that DNA. Well, not all of it. Just for, the muscle tone. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that personal experience there. And so if people come and to 24carats.com, 24carrotsjuice.com, and check out the restaurant now. The reason why I'm referring mostly to the website is you're in the middle of moving right now.
We are. We're in the middle of moving from a very small 1,300 square foot space to gaining almost 2,000 square feet, where we'll be able to do more.
Wonderful.
It's about 2 miles north of where you're at right now?
I would say it's about 4 or 5 miles away, but not too far. We're in Chandler right now, and we're moving to the Chandler-Tempe border, which is kind of cool. So
You can still keep your same clientele.
yeah, what's really nice is we'll be able to serve them better. Our customers do a lot for us, and they've been incredible, but the real challenge is we cater to a niche of people that have a lot of health concerns, in addition to they really care about the quality of food that they're getting. And so for us, that means the ability to make everything from scratch, to go the extra mile in sourcing our ingredients, and really taking a little extra time to make sure everything is cooked properly. That takes space. It also
Sure.
takes time. So hopefully this new kitchen will be more efficient and give us an
Now,
opportunity.
do you do shakes or only juicing?
I was
do
gonna
both.
ask that.
We do both. Yeah,
Okay, very good.
we do what we call them smoothies and juices,
Okay.
but we do smoothies that still have a lot of the pulp. So we whole process the fruits and veggies, and then for our juices, we run part of the juices are made through a centrifugal juicer, some of them through masticating, and sometimes we puree in a little bit of fruit at the end too. So consistency is a little different.
Very good. And if I could add in there, the big learning experience that I had in preparing for this show was understanding that if you have, and you kind of brought this up, if you're a person who is trying to stave off disease, or you have a tendency toward the arthritis, you have a tendency toward the diabetes, you have a tendency toward these things, then juicing is where you can get highly concentrated amounts for natural medicinal purposes,
Most
essentially.
certainly, if you think about the quantity of veggies that you would have to eat in order to get the same amount of nutrients as drinking
I
a
just
cup.
look at the fiber, the pulp, I
Yeah.
throw away.
Mm.
Oh.
It's like there's no way I could eat the whole thing and get the nutrition and digest that and do my
Right.
other diet.
Right.
Unless you're a crazy
So-
man like me, and then what I do is I throw it into
I
a...
admire you. You make a soup out of it.
I make a soup out of it, or a stew, whatever you want to say, and so I put it all into the crock pot.
I'll see how long you can do that.
For
how long?
Yeah, for how long? Let's see how long I can do this. But I'm actually becoming a better and better cook. That's the other thing, is if you're not a good cook, give
'Cause
yourself
if it doesn't
enough
taste good.
time to actually start putting in the proper
You should
spices and
put
things
some
like
of
that.
it into pancake mix, and you can make amazing savory
Oh my
pancakes.
That
It's
or,
so tasty.
Good idea.
Vegetable jerkies.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
That I have seen. That I can
Yes.
see.
If you have a
doing.
You guys
dehydrator,
do that, don't
we
you?
do. We
Yeah.
make chips and cookies and breads and all kinds of things out of our pulp.
So go to 24carrotsjuice.com and find their new Guadalupe location.
Yes.
And then test it out, what they're like, and if you want to experiment until you finally, can, I don't know, just go to
Well, people can always,
24carrotsjuice.com.
they can always email us as well if they want some tips on juicing.
Oh,
We
you'll
send out
ask them?
recipes.
Oh my
we
goodness, these are
try
not
to
even guarding
support
all of their
people.
secrets.
Yeah, well, we try to support people when they're, following
It's a
this
community.
path, which, exactly.
Yeah.
I had that
Right.
support when I was going through it, so why not pay
You
it
bet.
forward?
So if you buy yourself a dehydrator, then you can actually have some good crackers or jerky, as you call it.
Oh,
Right.
it's
Well,
so
this is
good.
one of the difference we were going to talk about between juicing and juices and smoothies. That is one, because of the pulp or the fiber, the smoothies will make you stay fuller for longer time.
Very true.
Juices may keep you satisfied for half an hour to an hour. So it's viewed more of a supplement instead of food itself.
Oh, most certainly.
I don't know what your opinion is, but in my own personal life, I'm finding that if because I have a tendency to come home, I can eat great during the day, because I'm preoccupied with everything, and then I get home and then I want to tear up the whole house and
Of
eat everything in the house
course,
and then
right?
cover it in everything that's hidden
I call
everywhere.
it the chocolate meal.
Yeah, the
right?
chocolate
It's that
meal.
fourth meal in the day where everyone comes home.
You betcha. So what I have found is that if I spend some structured time juicing at night, then I do have that meal, but then it's considered a smaller meal,
Mhm.
and so then I'm full enough to then go up to where maybe I watch a 45-minute show before I go to sleep, and then I'm done, as opposed to eating the entire house. So I mean, everybody's going to have their own experience, but it is that light meal you're
I
supposed to
really
have.
enjoyed, I would add a lot of protein to my lunch or even to my lunchtime juice, and that would keep me full for longer so that when I did get home, I wasn't ravenous, at that point.
Yeah,
So.
which I've been chided by Dr. Lee a couple times for coming home
yeah.
ravenous.
Oh yeah, I have a different. I mean, I don't think anybody can just juice all their life.
Mhm.
They.
And I'm not, even juice fast, I'm not, some people
Right.
recommend juice fast,
Because your
I'm just looking
body's
at
gonna
incorporating.
crave for certain things. You want salty things, you want fatty things,
Yeah.
you want chocolate.
Mhm.
So my take on that is you should eat them
Mhm.
small quantity earlier in the day.
Mhm.
But I know you're a busy person, so you don't get to do that. That's why you crave at night.
And what better way to slake craving, to stave off craving than to have one of the most nutritious ways to just ingest nutrition into your body.
That would be good. So Shasa? Did I say
Sasha.
Sasha, a question. Do you ever use honey in your
Well, as a restaurant, we carry honey, but we don't use it unless it's requested, just because we're vegan and some vegans choose not to. But when we do use honey, the honey that we carry is a local honey, and we change it seasonally, so it kind of changes with what our
So
pollen.
the reason it doesn't work well with vegans is that it's considered an animal product
It is
still?
considered an animal-derived product.
Okay.
We use a raw, unfiltered honey. We carry a raw, unfiltered honey, but we it's available upon request.
Okay.
A lot of people use agave for sweeteners if they would, as a vegan sweetener.
Yeah, I'm a fan of agave. However, you're going to learn why we might become fans of honey later on.
That's right. Our health tip of the day is related to honey, so we're going to be talking about that. Probably in our next after the commercial break.
You bet. Since we do have Sasha here for one more minute, is there any advice that you would give our audience, since you've been juicing for years, way longer than I have? My problem is I'm juicing things that don't taste great.
Right.
So, and it has to do with longevity, as Dr. Lee says, how long can I keep this up?
Right.
So what advice would you give those that are just starting to juice?
Well, the first thing I would say is give yourself a break. Dr. Lee is absolutely right. Your body craves a lot of things, and if you're going to go on a strict juice fast, it is, we're psychologically attached to eating. It makes us feel good. A lot of our social norms are around it, and our body craves what it needs in, most circumstances, and you have to learn to pay attention to that. So I encourage people to do kind of like a blended juice fast, where they're juicing for, say, 75% of the day, and they're also eating a lot of raw vegetables, fruits, nuts, things like that, avocados. And I found, at least for myself, one of the best ways to figure out what you like is to taste as much as you can. So a lot of people will find one juice that they really enjoy, and then that's all they'll have day in and day out, but you're limiting the range of nutrients your body is getting at that point.
Right.
And in extreme situations, your body can start to leach those nutrients from other parts of your, from your system
Sure.
itself, and can end up being
Calcium.
detrimental. So certainly vary it. Maybe have a red juice with red veggies, a yellow, orange juice, have green juices, things like that, and keep it. Eat and drink with the color spectrum.
I think I'm going through that exploration time period. I think I grossed out the family when I juiced leeks.
Oh.
And oh my goodness, the whole house smelled, and I still drank it. But yes,
That's
thank
impressive.
you.
That's very impressive.
But obviously, I'm not going to do that very much more. But yeah, this is all great advice. Thank you, Sasha, for joining us on the
Thank
show.
you.
And
Thank you,
and again, if any of our listeners want to go to 24, the numeral 24, carrots, CARROTS, juice.com, you'll be able to become part of that culture, get some recipes, and learn why it is you want to go down there and meet some of the people and meet Sasha. Also, I want to give a shameless plug for YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Ageless Living and Sasha or 24carrotsjuice.com, and you will be able to find out why it is that the combination of being a dancer, losing lots of weight, and being a vegan produces great and beautiful results. So don't forget to go there, and looks like we're out of time on this segment, so we appreciate everybody tuning in to the Ageless Living show here on Voice America and World Talk Radio. When we come back from break, we're going to be talking about
The health tip of the day.
exactly cinnamon and honey, and the great health tips both publicly and internally. So keep that pen and paper handy, and we'll be right back after the break.
Don't go away.